Listen up, y'all. Let's shape some shots. There are endless combinations of disc types and release angles in disc golf, but I think I can break them down into 9 categories, 3 release angles and 3 types of discs. Let's take a look. We'll start with a hyzer release. If you throw an overstable disc on a hyzer release, it's probably not going to get you very far. If you throw it low, it will skip fairly far to the left, and if you throw it high, it will spike into the ground. It'll probably be fairly accurate, but it's not going to get you very much distance. If you throw a straight disc with hyzer, it will flip up to flat, maybe glide to the right a little bit before fading back to the left. This is the legendary hyzer flip, and it is the sweet spot between distance and accuracy. By releasing on a hyzer, you're taking advantage of the most power your body can provide, and by throwing a less stable disc, you're taking advantage of the glide and the late fade that's going to get you more distance. Throwing an even more understable disc with hyzer is going to be a more exaggerated hyzer flip. The disc will flip up, glide to the right, and probably not fade too much. This isn't a particularly useful shot, but it can be used in the woods as a substitute for a long forehand. Moving on to a flat release. A flat release with an overstable disc is going to be a very accurate and long shot. The disc should have a good amount of glide because it's flat, and it's not really moving left to right, nor is it changing angles. That's going to make it very accurate, and while not your maximum distance, a good long flight. With a straighter disc, this is going to be the longest shot you can throw while still maintaining some accuracy. The shot should flip over to the right and get some good glide before finally fading back to the left. The problem is you have to trust the disc not to flip over too much and roll, or not flip at all and fade out early. So while the extra distance can be enticing, usually reserve this shot for more open holes. And with an understable disc, a flat release can be a roller, but most often it's just a big, long anhyzer. It's not going to be the most accurate because the disc is fighting its natural rotation, but it can be useful for getting up and around corners. And lastly, an anhyzer release. With an overstable disc, it feels like this shot goes really far, but it doesn't. Because the disc is flexing and staying in the air for a long time, it can be tempting to think that it's going far. But because it's an overstable disc, it's not moving forward as much towards the end of its flight. Overstable discs will fade sooner and harder than straighter discs. So this shot isn't very accurate because of the flex, and it's not a very far shot because of the stability. However, throwing a straighter disc on this line is probably going to be your absolute maximum distance shot. The idea is to get the disc to hold on that anhyzer line for as long as possible before a late fade. That's going to take advantage of the glide during the anhyzer and get a little bit more forward progress as the discs start to fade. But this shot isn't going to be accurate at all. So it's best to save this shot for internet distance or distance competitions or showing off. Throwing an understable disc on an anhyzer will almost always end in a roller. The trick is to throw this shot lower than the others and focus on where you want the disc to land. Getting the disc down on the right angle is the key to a good roller. Rollers will usually go pretty far, but given the inconsistencies in the ground and the wind, they're not going to be very accurate. This was in a headwind and it didn't end well. Alright guys, that's it for this week's video. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks to all my patrons on Patreon. And until next time, always remember, slow is smooth and smooth is far.